Welcome, Aquarius. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your full moon in Sagittarius reading on May 31st. This will be a full micro moon, being the second full moon in the month of May. This hasn't happened in over a couple of years, so it doesn't happen often. Hence the expression, once in a blue moon, for those of you of a particular generation. And the moon is located in the constellation of Sagittarius, which is the furthest this time of the year from the sun's position and from our star, our Earth. So it appears a little bit smaller in the sky than it ordinarily does. So that's why it's a micro blue moon. Unfortunately, the moon doesn't turn blue. Wouldn't that be lovely? But certainly in our hearts, we can feel that energy of some special quality to the air. I'm going to start with the energy archaeology, and the card I pulled for you is pleasure. And I'm going to read from the guidebook. Pleasure is a sensation, wild, open, soft, raw, rapturous, delicate, expansive, focused, enlivening. It goes beyond the mind to create an experience in the body of aliveness and awareness. Pleasure is personal, but has been disassociated from the person, shamed, outlawed, feared, repressed, made repugnant, strong-armed, and cast aside for other ways of being in the world, ways that are more predictable, more controllable, more tempered. Ideas and acts of pleasure have been distorted by society, but the true frequency has not. There's nothing so complex and yet so simple as pleasure. When it is felt in its fullest expression throughout the human body, pleasure can move the seemingly unmovable. You're designed for pleasure, to receive it, give it, be supported by it, and activate your gifts through it. It's a wholly three-dimensional gift and guidepost for your life. Quite an energy to appreciate, and coupled with the Judgment card, I understand that everyone has their own unique paths and challenges. This can't help but evoke a strong sense of the way that pleasure is regulated in our consumerist capitalist society. And that's what is coming up for me, the framework by which we as individuals are located within an array of market forces that feel not only powerful, but mostly hidden to us, so that we are manipulated by the desire for pleasure through consumerism. So this is an interesting mix here, because judgment is actually signifying, I think, a way in which you are bringing back yourself into an appreciation of what pleasure can be, and how joy, indeed, as many have cited, is a radical act. Expressing joy is important, and locating pleasure for yourself is the beginning of that experience. In the present, we have the Tower card, indeed. So this is really, again, reinforcing the idea that pleasure or joy is something that is universally experienced and is radical. It is counter the social narrative most of us receive in our lives, that we're entitled to feel good, and that you don't have to earn pleasure, that pleasure is something that can occur without you understanding it. And so this is talking about the way in which pleasure moves throughout energetic fields. It is not just an experience of shopping, decision-making, or superficial desires to decorate ourselves or our homes. How this is acting out for you, how this is showing up for you, is some way in which you are experiencing pleasure in a place that it isn't supposed to occur. And that there are many places like that. One of them is not only your work, but it can be your radical work, your activist work, a sense that you are contributing something that is available to everyone, that is regulated but doesn't have to be, that we can experience it purely through an openness within our own bodies. So what this is relevant for you is starting to look like some barrier, some way in which you have relied on perhaps an organization, an institution, some structure to facilitate work, connection with other people. Building something that is available to the world has been disrupted, has been eventfully disrupted in some way, that there is some kind of crumbling to the infrastructure, to something that you've depended on. Certainly with the changes in funding for many of our organizations and institutions that we formerly have assumed and have experienced as being public, can be a factor in some kind of destruction or deconstruction. And this is relevant to you. Perhaps the physical location of your home, a community, a service is being undermined in some way. But ultimately, this ends up providing lots of other possibilities that did not previously exist. When everyone agreed to do things this way, then the ability to do things in another way has now become available. So there's some alternative here, depending on what it is you're working on, that is providing you with creative options. In the past, the Two of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. I wish I knew what it was you are working on apart from yourself, because this is showing me your ability to, your desire to integrate your past into possibilities for the future. This is your understanding that an old way of doing things was productive for a particular place or time that no longer exists. And I love this card that has an old style sailing ship. The performer in the card looks like a vaudevillian, a minstrel. Both forms of transportation and performance are historic, are passé. And yet you're trying to take that knowledge, those systems, and retrofit them to possibilities, at least in principle, moving forward. And you're doing that through analysis, which brings me back again to the way that we look at not only our pleasure, but our creativity in terms of market forces. What will sell? What won't sell? What are people open to? What aren't they? What are they familiar with? So it seems to me that you've done a lot of thinking and a lot of work in this arena. And this may have to do with your professional practice. It may have to do with your general larger lifestyle. In the future, the Magician. Seems to me that you get this card often enough, Aquarius. This really is linking very specifically to the energy of Gemini, the season we're in right now, because Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, among other signs, Virgo specifically. But this is that out of these systems, out of this experience, out of this desire to promote a kind of pleasure in your activism, in your analysis or critique of the way things are moving, perhaps in a particular profession or area. You are standing up, you are presenting your case, you are sharing this analysis with others as a way of building an alternative that expresses a universal need and desire in a different way, in a different format. Just your ability to stand up for, to represent, to speak for the principle of joy, pleasure, being supported, feeling good on unconditional terms is quite a victory. I think that's your reading. I'm going to clarify the cards right now, but first I want to ask if this reading is resonating for you so far, if you will like this video and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I appreciate all the ways that I am supported by you in whatever way that is. And so for the Queen of Swords and the Two of Pentacles, the Moon card, the Six of Swords. For the Tower, we have the Justice card and the Hermit. And for the Magician, 2 cards, please, just 2 cards. I have more than 2. The Seven of Cups, the Page of Pentacles. I'm not going to turn over any more. All right, so in the past, the Two of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, the Moon, the Six of Swords. There is a healing process that you've been on for a while. And part of that determination to move away from something that wasn't working out for you, you have gone very, very deeply into personal behaviors, actions, experiences that felt damaging, that were shameful, that may evoke a sense of guilt in you. And in working through those experiences, you have begun to reveal to yourself truths that required you to open up to the kind of support that you do have. And already what's implicit here is that you weren't getting the support or able to give the support where you wanted to, where you believed it belonged. So if that's a family, if that's in a professional setting, in your community, somehow your contribution felt blocked. And in order to move to a place where you could make a contribution, be valued, be seen, participate, you've had to surrender to why this challenge even existed for you. And that has provided you with this possibility of believing, knowing that there is more to possible alternatives than what you understand or know. That there are energetic possibilities that are beyond your knowledge scape, that are beyond your emotional experience, and that you are surrendering to that. You are allowing yourself to be guided by the support that you have uncovered on this healing journey. In the present, the Tower card is clarified by Justice and the Hermit card. So this is a powerful set of energies that you're currently working with. And I have to say that right off the bat, there is something incredibly Aquarian-like about this combination, specifically that you are intuitive innovator. So you're able to find the gaps and holes in things that others don't see. And that's part of where your analysis of the social landscape is landing. your ultimate understanding, not even goal, it's understanding that all are worthy, all are have earned a right to exist, to speak out, to be nurtured, to be cared for, to be supported. And your ability to balance that has relied upon your own inner search, your own ability to establish yourself as a worthy authority. And this is something that you are attempting to offer to others, that there are no rules other than your own rule. That rule is equity, justice, fair treatment, care for all within the system. That includes the earth as a major factor in our experience on the earth. So there is a tremendous opportunity for you to stand up for the right thing, not just for you, but for everyone, and to recognize that the crumbling of some structure that once was relied upon is really the opening for individuals to see themselves as empowered, no less powerful than the organized market forces, for lack of a better word, that exist in the world that define our pleasure, define our support, define who is worthy of that, who is recognized and valued for that. In the future, the Magician card is clarified by the Page of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. And this essentially describes all kinds of options and possibilities that are coming out of what feels like a very thorough analysis of your social, even political location in the world. So this is you understanding that far from being the last word or a conclusion to that analysis, you are simply at the beginning of the exploration of options, possibilities that are available to you. You understand that this is just the beginning of the new world. And this is what you're describing to others. This is what you're sharing with others, the information that the possibilities that are emerging require our effort. They just don't pop out of the sky and then our lives are changed because suddenly we see something. No, every single option, every single alternative requires work from the ground up and the willingness to do that work. The willingness not to just rely on what is given to us. This is such a profound reading, Aquarius, as is so often the case with you. I'm going to finish it up with a flower oracle, and this does make me think that sometimes an extended reading would be a good thing. If you could comment in the comment section whether you might like an extended reading on a reading such as this. It's something I would like to develop as part of my service on this channel. So let me know what you think about that. And then I pulled the forget-me-not, and the key word is remembrance. Memories and the past hold the key. Wow. That feels to me so, so very important. And it does occur to me that as you have gone on this intense healing process, you have had to tap into not only your own subconscious, but the collective unconscious. And a lot of this is you as a harbinger of new worlds, new possibilities to come. So again, Aquarius, thank you so much for this incredible reading. Until next time, namaste.